nonverbal and non-visual, and it could be love or gratitude
Mm-hmm.
or something of that nature. But these are experientially very, very different substances, but they're both tryptamines and they're both
And
serotonin their mechanism.
and when you say short acting, how long are you talking here?
Um, when I smoked the Bufal various venom in my episode, I believe I was unconscious for about 15 minutes. And then by the time that I regained consciousness, I I was already pretty much out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I had some residual effects, but I would say that you have a peak experience, it's 10 to 15 minutes, and then a residual experience, it's maybe 5 to 10 minutes, and then there's an afterglow, but you're basically back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
DMT has a similar trajectory. I would say, in my experience, is often a little even shorter than that. Um, it depends a little bit on circumstances, but I think it tends to be, yeah, about 10 minutes in duration. Very short acting. They're rapidly metabolized substances, and and totally dazzling and awe-inspiring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've often well, that's what one of the things that fascinates me, and I think so many people, about DMT and 5-MeO is they're very powerful, and yet they're so short. It's tens of minutes that you're talking about. It's not like psilocybin or LSD where you're talking about hours. And yet there's this intensity. And the way that I've often described it is DMT is very visual. And I think you put it good. It's very personal. It may be filled with elements of your own life that you're having hallucinations around. And the best way I've been able to describe 5-MeO DMT, at least when my eyes were open, was, any story that you've heard about someone having a near death experience where they just see the pure white light. To me, that was my open eye 5-MeO experience. It was that white light, and it was just like a feeling of almost congratulations. Like, congratulations, you're alive. Like,
Yes.
very, very blissful. Did you have any reactivations with 5-MeO DMT? Because when I did it, the one time I tried it, I was told that, ahead of time, they were very careful to tell us, just so you know, in the days and weeks following this, you're probably going to reactivate, very likely at night. And I was actually skeptical. I was like, I've never really heard about that or experienced that with anything else. But it 100% happened. For about 2 weeks, I would wake up every night in the middle of the night, 2, 3, 4 in the morning, and be like, I would say 80% of the way there. So somehow, some way, there is some engagement of mechanisms in the brain that was inducing long-term plasticity, and it was somehow able to, quote unquote, reactivate the experience almost all the way for, in my case, about 2 weeks. Did you have anything like that?
I did not. The most recent time that I smoked the Bufal various venom in 2017, I did have a long, I would say maybe 2 weeks after I was totally sensitized emotionally. I would be moved to tears by a cute dog
Mm-hmm.
walking down the street. I was extremely vulnerable and almost childlike in my demeanor. um, I did not have any reactivations. I have in the distant past with synthetic 5-MeO DMT and with DMT. And one other distinction that I should mention, and I don't believe in, um, I think it's often hard to caution people about these things without simultaneously frightening them.
Mm-hmm.
But I often hear people talk about DMT as if it's very, very frightening, or like, oh, it's a near-death experience. Like, I don't think I ever want to do that. In my experience, DMT has never been frightening at all.
I agree.
But 5-MeO DMT has been frightening in my experience.